Hello everyone and welcome back to Nine Nails Garage. Today I'm going to be repairing some leaks in my on-demand hot water heater in my 2018 Palomino pickup camper. So what happened was we had a cold spell that came in and it kind of snuck up on me. I didn't get a chance to winterize the camper in time. So the camper we're working on is a 2018 Palomino Back Pack Edition pickup camper HS2902, and this is our hot water heater over here. So it's an on-demand unit, and what that means is it doesn't have a tank. It just heats up the water as needed. So after the weather warmed up, I tried to flush the system of all the fresh water and winterize it, and I realized I had some leaks in here. So one of these copper tubes back here has a pinhole leak in it, and we also, this little piece right here, I'm not sure, I think that's a temp sensor maybe, but that kind of popped out right there. So what I'm going to do to make this easier to repair and to get a proper repair is I'm going to remove the hot water heater from the camper. We just got our screws here and some connections on the inside of the camper, and so we'll remove it from the camper. We'll take this box off right here, and then we'll be able to get a better look at our copper tubing back here that is cracked. So we're going to go ahead and remove it right now. Alright, so now that we got the water heater out of the camper, as you can see, it wasn't really that hard. Had to take the trim ring off here. It is really cold outside, so I did use the propane torch to kind of heat it up and heat up that sealant to make it more pliable. Once I got it just warm enough, it was able to just pop right off of there. So I used the knife a little bit to kind of help it, but it really didn't take much. If you do try this, be really careful with the propane torch. Don't overheat this stuff. Don't get it too hot because you can distort the fiberglass that is underneath it, and well, you could also burn down your camper. So once we pulled off the trim ring on the outside, we went inside, we pulled off the access door that's underneath the kitchen sink to get to the back side of the water heater. We cut the wires here, disconnected our water hoses, made sure to label our hot, and also turned off our propane and disconnected our propane hose. There was nothing else holding it on the inside. It was just the exterior screws on the trim ring, and it was sitting on a couple of 2x4s on the inside. Pretty easy removal, and I think it's gonna make this repair a lot easier. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove all these Phillips head screws. So now that we got the box off of there, we can clearly see where our crack is in our copper tube, and we can also see that that would have been very difficult to repair with this unit still in the camper. So glad I removed it and took that cover off there. I mean, I could have put JB Weld on it or something, but I'm not really a fan of that because it's kind of more of a temporary fix. We are going to be putting a little solder in this crack, and it's going to make it hold for many years to come. You'll never know it was there. As far as over here, like I said, this sensor kind of popped back a little bit. I wonder if I can't just get that screw out of there and see if we can put a new screw in there. I'm sure there's an O-ring in there somewhere, so we'll take that apart and look at that. Looks like we can undo this nut right here and pull this piece out of there. We got this piece out of here, and it actually looks like it's a flow meter. So when the water flows through there, it spins a fan, and it senses how fast the fan spins, probably letting it know to turn on the water heater. So we're gonna replace the O-ring and get a new screw, and then put this back together, and we should be good. Now that we got the leak on the flow sensor fixed, we're gonna go ahead and repair this copper tubing here. First, we're gonna go ahead and sand around the area with some emery cloth sandpaper. Now, since the pipe is kind of bulged out a little bit, I'm gonna try to pinch it back together and make the crack just a little bit smaller, just like that. Put a little flux around the area. So now that we have both of our leaks fixed on our on-demand hot water heater, we are gonna install it back in the camper. I'm just gonna put it in there temporarily without the cover on here. We're gonna hook up our hot water and our cold water, and we're just gonna make sure that we don't have any leaks. We'll turn on the water in the camper, and we'll make sure our repairs work like they should. And there it is, not a drop of water leaking from our on-demand hot water heater. Everything came out well, everything's holding together, no leaks, so that is good. We got the water on in the camper. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pressurize it with city water just to make sure, you know, if we get a little more pressure with city water, that it's not gonna leak there as well. And no leaks on city water either. So now we're gonna go ahead, pull this thing out, we'll put the cover back on it, we'll get all this sealant cleaned up, we'll put new sealant on it, and then we'll reinstall it and button it up. And there you have it. That's my how-to video on how to repair a cracked water heater in an RV. Now, every situation is going to be different. There may be cracks in different places, but you get the gist of it. That's how you remove the water heater. Every water heater is also going to be in a different spot in campers, but they're going to be fairly easy to access and not that difficult to remove. Also, I did go through the rest of the RV and I checked all the other sinks and all the other faucets and also all the PEX lines. And everything's in good shape. There's no other leaks in the RV, so we're good to go. Usually the plastic can take a little bit of freezing, especially the PEX. However, when copper freezes, it doesn't have a lot of give, so that's why I cracked in the hot water heater. This did save me a good amount of money fixing it myself versus bringing it to an RV dealership. Who knows, they probably would have had it for a few weeks. Probably would have cost a few hundred, if not $1,000 to fix. Also, that water heater is anywhere from $500 to $1,000, so we definitely saved some money there. We used a tube of caulk, a little bit of solder, and a few butt connectors to splice the wires back together. Overall, I think we did a good job. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.